All right. Yeah, it's just the sound. Hello. Just the sound. Hello. Hey Akim. Hey Akim. Hope you're okay. It has been a while. It has been a while. Yes, because I do these streams randomly, very very random. Okay. I never know when I'm gonna do them. I just do them. I do them whenever. Today I thought I would. I was already drawing, as I do, and I thought, might as well call this a stream along. Probably gonna. I was thinking. I was trying to sharpen up my leg and because I was struggling with something the other day. And I thought, I should probably practice some more leg and just to sharpen that up a little bit. Well, yeah, we'll see wherever it takes. Wherever the session takes me, it'll take me. Big time, but I want to scroll. Man, the scrolling is it's addictive, man. I know what you mean, man. Is if there's still an echo, let me know. Because I turned down my own sound so that you shouldn't hear echo. But if you can, then that's not good. Is there still an echo? Maybe I need to. Hey, Big Clown, yes. Hello. Okay. I'm gonna try and sort out the echo. Give me a sec. I wonder what that is. Maybe I need to. Alright, hello. Okay. I'm gonna try and sort out the echo. Give me a sec. Okay, how about now? Is there still an echo? Hello? They got worse, okay. That's not good. Okay. How about now? Is there still echo now? Oh boy, that's not good. That can't be good. They got worse, okay. That's not good. Okay. How about now? Is there still echo now? Okay, it got better. Oh, we love to hear that. We love to hear when things is better. That's good. Awesome. All right. Well, yeah. So today I'm probably gonna just do some studies and see where it takes me. I just want to improve my anatomy a little bit, and so I'm just gonna continue doing what I was doing off camera, which is just studying some of this important leg muscles. I'm using a bunch of references, and then some of them I'm just drawing from memory, so it's like a bit of both. I think the best way to learn is mixing it up. So you should be using some references, but then at the same time you should be attempting to draw without reference as well, so that you're testing yourself and making sure that information is sticking. I have this cool model over here, right, that I've been using. This is really cool. It's a good reference I use for muscles in general. So, but this is really cool because you got one side which is obviously very the anatomy is very clear. You can see all the muscle insertions and stuff. Well, not insertions, but you can see the muscles here. But then on this side, it's like with the skin on top, which is really cool because you can kind of see how it actually ends up looking. So yeah, this is really cool. I got this off Amazon. You can actually just search I don't have any there's no promotion, I'm not getting paid to show this, but you can find this on Amazon. I think it's if you just search like anatomy model or something like that for artists, you'll find something like this. So that's one of the things I'm using. Not the only thing, but one of the things. Cool. So let's first thing I'm gonna do is, yeah, I'm just gonna draw some legs and oh, here's another thing I'm using. I'll show you what I'm using today actually. Just a few things I'm using all at once, right? I'm always just like looking at random stuff that helps me. This book right here, the Morpho book, is really good because it kind of like it's kind of like this actually, because it's not well, it shows you the anatomy, but then there's a bunch of sketches like these ones here that kind of show you, or like this one for example, that kind of show you how it would look, the exact same drawing would look without all the detailed anatomy, with the skin on top. And then also I think that this is, because it's like not as, it's not, it doesn't feel as like medical as like other anatomy books. There's a bunch of anatomy books that are like that feel very medical to me, like they're very in depth, and like I don't know, I just, it's too much. So this is like, you know, this is like, I can remember this, you know. But yeah, so yeah, I'll be using this. Probably where's the leg section? Here we go. This is pretty useful. One of the main issues I have with anatomy in general, though, when I study anatomy, I've noticed I struggle with how every reference is slightly different, because my brain wants like the same information, so that I can like yeah, I guess I get confused when I see one reference that looks like this, then another reference of anatomy from like a medical book, and it's very different, and then I'll look at another anatomy diagram on like Pinterest, and they're all accurate, but they're just different. So my brain kind of like has a hard time with that. But I just what I try to do is I look for the most important things that all of them share. So if all of them share certain details that are important, then I will just draw those. But like this is an example of what I'm talking about, right? Like, so right here, this, I guess this is like I don't actually know what this long thing is. Some models of anatomy that I've seen don't actually include all of this. They don't include that long one here. They just leave that out, and then they just have something like this instead. And I guess they're similar, but it just confuses me because they look different. So yeah. I suppose, and I guess this right here is that, but because this is thinner and that's thicker, sometimes that just messes me up. But that's just me, because maybe I'm a bit stupid. I don't know. That's one of them. And then there's this one, Rocky Kim's. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Rocky. I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, some good references that I use. Really, really good references, like all kinds of poses. Really, I recommend this book. This is really good. Where's the leg stuff? Here we go. I did a ton of copies from this book the other day. I copied tons of stuff from it. Really, really helpful. So this was good. And also just shows you how to actually render it. So like, because you know, you look at all these muscles and it's like, okay, fine, I know the muscles, but how do I actually draw them in a way that's kind of like believable? And some of these books, like this one for example, gives you an idea of how much to draw to make a drawing that feels like it has anatomy, but it's not throwing anatomy in your face completely. Like for example, this shows kind of like what you would generally see in a human with this amount of body fat. You probably would see this muscle bulge out, this muscle, but you wouldn't see like every single like muscle fiber. Like for example here, you wouldn't see every single thing. So it's good to see people that actually do just give you an idea of how it would actually look. So there's that. And then what else am I using? Obviously the goat. Oh, just dropped another book. Obviously the goat. I'm using this as well. I use this from time to time. just gives me an idea of how to break something down. But it's just a mixture of everything, really. That's what I'll be doing today. Cool. So let's get to some drawing. Let's get to some drawing. So I'm just gonna do some copies. So I'll do like a side front. You know what? I'll just see where it takes me. You know. So the first thing I wanted to go over was just the muscles from the front view, the quads and everything. So if I find a decent reference, that'll be good. No dynamic Bible form manipulation. Actually, no. Funny enough, like, never got that much. Never. I like Peter Han. I've seen his stuff, a lot of his stuff, obviously online and stuff. Never personally got into his work as much, even though I do like seeing stuff. Never actually gone and like bought the dynamic Bible, but I do like. I probably should get it. Probably would be useful to see some of that stuff. But yeah, that's weird, right? That's weird. The more reference, the better. That's the way I think about it. The more I see, the better. I don't really care about who or what is saying what. As long as I can take something, that's all that matters to me. So I probably will take a look at some of his stuff to figure out how he does things as well. Cool. Do you think drawing is a minorish thing or rigorous? Let me do some drawing first, and I'll answer. So I'll try and answer some of this stuff. I don't know if I'll be able to answer everything, but. And I'm trying this pen because I really like it. It's a bit. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain, but this pen just feels something about this pen just feels different, and I quite like it. But as you could just see just now, it took a while for the ink to like actually start flowing. That's one of the issues with the pen, but overall I like it. Okay. And by the way, as I'm drawing this, I don't know, I'm not thinking super hard about memorizing everything. I mean, to be honest, I do already kind of know anatomy, but to some extent. But Like, I never really did it by. There was no there was times when I was memorizing things, but most of the time, after you do like the main bulk of memorization, most of it is like, because you can't just memorize this image. You have to really understand how everything is folding into each other. So as I'm doing this, I'm trying to think about the forms and how they overlap and stuff like that. Um, but to answer that first question, do you think drawing is a mileage thing or rigorous structure produces better growth? Um, so yeah, this is a interest. Obviously, it's an interesting question because in some ways, I mean, it gets into the whole debate of like how there are many people who say just draw to get better at drawing, and I guess those guys would be the mileage guys, right? Well, while others say just saying just draw is a bad thing to tell people because just saying just draw doesn't tell people anything about what to do, and obviously the implication in the people that are objecting to the just draw guys that um, is that the way you practice what you practice is really really important, right? So I get that where people are coming from when they say that, right? Um, what am I trying to say here? But ultimately, the reason why mileage is, in my opinion, beats out everything out eventually is because mileage is what is going to get you to the point of realizing what works and doesn't work for you, right? So, to get to the point of doing effective practice, right? That's oftentimes we think that somebody can teach us that, and that's true. Like that's what schools are for. That's what mentorships are for, and that's all good and stuff, right? But the reason why mileage is good is because by doing the brute force mileage, you are going to learn about what actually truly works for you, what effective things actually work for you, because you will experiment enough in that like grind. You'll experiment enough to figure out what works and what doesn't work for you. That's why just draw is actually good advice. Okay, I know people don't like that, but just draw is good advice because even though you might not know what to draw, if you are drawing a lot, you will find ways to get better through experimentation. You'll try some things won't work, and then you'll try other things, and they do work. And by the way, while you're trying these things and are failing and some things are failing and some things are doing well, you're getting better overall anyway. Like you're still getting better overall. So yeah. So to answer the question, do you think drawing mileage thing is a rigorous structure produces? Do you think drawing is a mileage thing or a rigorous structure produces better growth? I think it's both, but mileage is what is going to is what's going to kind of help you figure out what structure is the best for you, right? So yeah, and then also mileage is important because there are some things that you just cannot get good at through just knowledge. I would say it's hard to really say. I don't know if anybody's done any kind of like study on this, but like it seems to me at least that drawing is very much a mechanical skill as it is a knowledge skill. Like a lot of there's a lot of muscle memory and stuff that comes with drawing, right? And I don't know. I'm not really convinced that you're gonna get a good result by just trying to acquire knowledge. There's a lot of people who they kind of treat drawing that way. They want to acquire. They would think that they can acquire lots of knowledge, and when they learn this thing, they'll get better. But that's not how it works because it's a procedural skill. So you need mileage so that your body, because your body is involved in it, not just your mind. Your body is involved. Your body needs to know what movements to make correctly to get you the outcome that you want, and that's not something that's gonna happen by just knowing things or yeah. So mileage is good for that. Um, yeah. Um, Now mileage in a rigorous way is the best. So like the question that you ask, the reason why even at the beginning I was a bit confused is because it kind of feels like they're not mutually exclusive. Like I think you can have both. You can have mileage and a rigorous structure. I think that's the best way to have it. So you focus on something that you want to improve like in a rigorous way. You figure out the best way to practice that thing, and you just kind of like go hard in that direction. Um, so yeah, I don't know if that answered the question, but yeah. It's been a while since I've seen a form manipulation video. Should we expect anyone? I'm working on one. It's like the last one. The one I'm working on is like the last one in the. It's well, yeah, I guess it's yes. It's like the last one in the form manipulation. Series kind of, because it's like the one that kind of puts everything together, and the one that you can that you should expect to see as you practice all the other things. You should expect to this skill to also improve, and then also like it's kind of like the most, well, not the most important one, but it's the one of the most useful ones. But I'll be speaking about that, what that is. Because I started last year and I found out that me testing stuff really helps me more than just watching someone. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, but that is that's how you get better. Yeah, you have to actually do stuff. Like you can't just like watch people. Yeah, that's what you're saying there is 1,000% accurate. That is exactly what you should expect to see. Right. So yeah, I don't know what to, I don't know what to say to that. That is literally, I don't know any other way that people, I don't know anyone else that's gotten better from from watching people. So that's fairly normal. Um, okay. Yeah, this stream will be saved, right? Because I think I gotta go soon, but I wanna see the stream. Yeah, it'll be saved. It'll be saved. I think all my streams are saved actually. Yeah, so it should be fine. And by the way, some people might be wondering why I'm not necessarily like drawing anatomy on top of bones or anything like that. And it's because even though I am conscious of bones, the way I think of anatomy is like tend to think about it in a sculptural way. So there's something I probably will speak about, and the video that I'm making soon is kind of like ties into this. But I tend to approach anatomy and drawing in general is like sculpting, like a sculptor. So I'm like when I'm drawing anatomy, I'm thinking about like putting pieces of meat together, you know, and like that kind of makes me bypass bones a little bit. Like I do think about bones, like I do think about them, but it's not like it's not like the most important thing in my mind. I just think for bones, I just use them to help me think about landmarks, like where where some muscle generally ends or begins or whatnot. But it's not like the thing I'm thinking about constantly. argue form manipulation is the most important fundamental. Yeah, I would say so. I would say form manipulation is important. It's one of the most is the, well, it depends what kind of artist you want to be. Some artists, some cartoonists, and so they don't really work with form that much. Most of the way they express what they're trying to put forward in their art is through shape language. So like it just depends what kind of artist you want to be, right? So you can literally get away with not being super like into form stuff, and then you having a great drawing because your aim is just to like express ideas through shape, right? And a lot of cartoonists, that's what they do, right? So they don't actually use that much form manipulation. Everything is done with shape. Now, obviously, what I like to do is I like to have both. So many my favorite artists, they have a mix of both, right? You can see that they are working with good shape design and form all together. That's my preferred. Like those are my preferred artists, but not all artists are like that. So to say it's the most important thing, I guess you could say that, but like it just depends what kind of artist you want to be, and based on that, you're gonna have a different you're gonna have a different idea of what is the most important thing, basically. So, not that I disagree. It's just that it's a bit more nuanced than that. I think we often think that every we often think that like the thing that we're learning or whatever is really important, but necessarily for a lot of people it's often not that important. Honestly, look at some cartoonists. You'll find that they work way more with gesture and shape language. Um, um, Hope you. Oh, hey Josh, how you doing, man? Thanks. Yeah, family's doing well. We're all good. Oh, same for yourself, man. Josh is a new father. So I know you're in the thick of it, man. You're in the thick of it. You got this, though. You got this. I trust you. I trust you got this, Josh. You got it. I was there. I was there. Um, yeah, your Insta shows you've been. Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's one of the reasons why I don't make. I like. Yeah, I'm a bit. Um, I'm always out with my family and stuff. So, like, I love to draw and stuff, but like, I and also like I can never concentrate enough to do the things I want to do for my YouTube channel. That's why I'm never able to post. But I'm again, like I said last time, one of my other streams, I said I'm working it out, guys. You just gotta bear with me. You've gotta bear with me, and I promise you, I'll be right with you as soon. My message didn't appear. Have you seen Viggy? Yeah, I've seen Viggy. Viggy's cool. Viggy's cool. I like Viggy. Viggy's cool. Viggy's cool. He does a lot of. Viggy's a real grinder. He is. You can see on his channel. He's always posting, and he's getting the mileage. He's getting the real mileage. Any tips for controlling a brush pen? Bruh, I can't even control a brush pen. I don't. This is not a well. I do, yeah. I don't think it. Well, maybe it's a type. I don't know if it's a brush pen. On the website, I don't think they call it a brush pen. It depends. Like I can't. I can only give you tips for using a like one of the hard tip brush pens. In which case, the tip is just like just do what you're doing with ordinary fine liners. With the brush pen, like the Kim Jong Gi brush pens, the actual brush pens, like calligraphy ones. Yeah, I got no advice for you on that one, man. I don't even use them. Like, I think it's my hand's just not that steady. Like it's just not. So, maybe give me a few years. Maybe I give you some advice in a few years when I actually go and start like taking it seriously. But I don't use brush pens much for drawing. I used to. I used to use them in the past, but I realized when I was using them, I was not able to control them very well, and then I would also do very naughty things like cover up my mistakes and not. I wasn't really knowing what I was drawing, so I was kind of using it as a. It became a crutch because I was actually using it to hide things that I didn't understand sometimes. So, which is not always a bad thing. It's just I knew I wanted to learn certain things, and I would just like let the brush pen do the work for me, if you know what I mean. It's hard to explain, but so I kind of stopped using it. Yeah, new father, no sleep for 4 weeks and counting. Yep. Listen, ask me if I've had any sleep for like 16 months now. Um, this is how it is, man. You're never gonna get sleep. You're not gonna get any sleep for 18 years apparently. That's what they're telling me. That's what that's what all the parents are telling me. It's really scary. I don't believe them though. I reject it. Yeah, man. Like actual brush pen, yeah, it's insane. Like whatever Kim Jong Gi was doing to control that brush pen, like I don't know. I would just say this as well though. Kim Jong Gi was drawing larger. He was drawing large, so a lot of the if you look at a lot of the brush pen drawings that he does, they're often on large pieces of paper. Some of them are on smaller papers, but many of them, most of them, I think, are actually on large paper, which is really forgiving for brush pen, right? Because like try and draw a circle with a brush pen like this small, then try to draw a brush pen, a circle with a brush pen, and the circle's that big. You're gonna quickly see that you can get away with more because you're drawing larger. So maybe the best advice I can give you is draw large. That's what I would say. That's what I would say. So I'd say to you. love this channel. Thanks, buddy. We should do draw jam or something. Yeah, why not? Shokunin sketch. Cool, that'd be cool. I don't mind. I like draw jams. That sounds cool. How long have you been drawing? Your work is so clean. Thanks. I really appreciate that. I think so. I've been drawing for quite a long time. I'd say started being kind of serious when I was in my late teens, so like maybe 15, well, not late teens. Yeah, 16, 16, 17-ish. Started being serious, but before that I was already drawing, kind of like, you know, the kid in class that's like good at drawing, or people would associate me with drawing quite early on. So I mean, I was drawing for a while, but I wasn't actually practicing a lot until like, and my drawings were rubbish, right? So I actually start practicing properly until maybe 16, 17 properly, maybe. I'd say that. So yeah, that's about right. That's what I'm looking for. So right now I'm still drawing from a reference, but so this is where I study, right? So I'm drawing from a reference, but as I'm drawing from the reference, I'm adding, I'm thinking about what I've just copied, right? So I copied all these kind of like from an anime reference, but now I'm drawing actual just drawings of people, but I'm trying to look for some of these landmarks in there so that I'm able to understand what I'm doing, If you could master a brush pen, you'd probably have really steady and obedient hands. Yeah, you really need that. Like to draw with a brush pen, you need some super duper. You need patience as well. You need to, you know. I came to a realization actually, like that drawing, some things I may never actually be able to do because of my personality. So like, and that's fine by the way. So like, some people they're able to do certain things because of the personality that they have, that allows for them to put up with certain things, right? But like maybe I will never get really good at a brush pen because I don't have the personality to put up with that, you know. Like maybe I do. We'll see. I don't know, but sometimes I think to myself, am I really going to spend time get my hands really steady to use the brush pen? Yeah. Or maybe it's easier than I think, and I need to actually put like a good month of solid practice. And like this whole time, I'm just like scared for no reason. Maybe it's super easy, and I just don't know. So we'll see. We'll have to see. Yo, that's my age. You've got to do a sketchbook tour. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So I don't actually keep a sketchbook, so that can never happen. That will never happen, unfortunately. I mean, I guess I could make one up and then like show you guys, but I don't keep a sketchbook. Most of what I draw is on loose paper, and a lot of it gets thrown away after a while because like it's just a mess. So, you know. How do you study? You're using reference right now, then you're going to try to draw from memory recall. Do you try and recall the exact same angle? Uh, yeah, so when I'm drawing from, yeah, so what I do, I draw in, I practice in, it's like three stages to it. So like the first stage is, sorry for the shaky camera. It's because I've got a new setup and like I haven't figured out what I'm gonna do about this. It's like ridiculous. Anyway, the first one is reference. Yeah, so the first thing is like copy a diagram. And the second thing is to attempt to draw the diagram from memory, and I've done that a few times, but I'm gonna skip that for now. That's a whole another thing. Copy a diagram. Then it's copy reference, or copy reference. Yeah, copy reference. Then third, I reinterpret reference, which is an important step. So this step right here, the words are going up down. Reinterpret reference is really important because that bit is you're no longer copying. Your brain's actually active now. So at this point, my brain is active because I actually have to copy and try to remember things. And I'm trying to, it's like I'm softening my brain to do something that's a bit harder. It's like I'm just getting my brain ready to do this bit, which is the hard bit. That's what this is for. These two, but like this is reinterpret reference includes me looking at a reference image, and then drawing it in my own way, kind of thing. So I'm not actually copying it. I'm drawing it in my own way, using the diagrams that I had copied to help me think about how to draw this in my own way. If you know what I mean. I'd have to give a proper demonstration of that one day, maybe. But because it's hard to explain what's actually going on in my head. But then yeah, the fourth one is to draw from memory. Yeah, so this bit gets me ready to do this. Every step of this is preparing my mind to eventually do that. And this step right here, basically, is not far from this. Like it's easy to get from here to here now because I've done that. If you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. So that's it's a bit of a weird thing to explain, but hopefully that makes some sense. Um, um, so it's okay. We prefer we prefer 0.7. Well, actually, I don't use 0.7. I use 0.3. Okay, so I use 0.3, and I don't know what this is. It doesn't say what this is. Like, I don't know if you can see. Oh, it doesn't actually say. But when I'm not using this, I'm using either a 0.2, which is what I was using for a very long time before I started switching to a 0.3 recently. So yeah, I basically switched between 0.3 and 0.2, And then I started using this recently because I really like this. So I don't actually, but yeah, no, I don't have, it's not 0.7. Yeah, it's not, it's basically, it's not 0.7. And is this applicable to any object? Very interesting. Yes. Yes, it is. It is. This step is important because if you want to actually be able to draw from memory, you have to take a leap away from copying. And the way to do that is to get your brain to participate to participate in a active way and not just a passive copying way, if you know what I mean. It has to the only way to draw from memory, and this applies to everything, is to move away from copying and engage your brain in actually like doing something like yeah, you've got to engage your brain basically. So you can't let me put this guy on. Put this guy in. There you go. I don't know what John Peabody is doing, so I mean he's gone. All right, cool. Yeah, I hope that makes sense though. Cool. Cool. So I'm gonna do some of these. So yeah, I'm gonna continue with the copying. So I'm just still copying some images. This one, no, sorry, not copying. Sorry. At the moment, I'm drawing legs, but I'm using. I'm reinterpreting. I'm kind of drawing them in my own way, right? So I'm not copying the image per se, but there is an image in front of me. So here's an example of this. So I don't know if you, let me see if I can show you. I'm going to show you my screen so you can see. Let's see. How do I share? Window capture. Add source. Window capture. Oh. Add source. Yeah, so you guys can see that, right? So the way I'm going to draw the leg now in my own way, right? So I'm not going to copy it explicitly, but I'm thinking about the form that I'm looking at and also the anatomy I just copied at the same time, right? So now it's a bit more active because as soon as you stop copying, now you're kind of in the driver's seat. Does that make sense? So I'll show you what I mean anyway. So You okay? Little one's just woken up. Give me a second, guys. Sorry, guys. I don't know if you heard me, but my little one just woke up, so I had to go and attend to him. He's yeah. And if I let him he wakes up and he comes to the living room where I am, and if he keeps going, he goes and he wakes up his mom. So, and his mom needs to sleep, so I have to prevent that from happening. But yeah, okay. Um, so right here is me reinterpreting things, right? So like I'm not really there is obviously there's a sense in which I am copying. You can see that there's a similarity, but I'm not like I'm loosely copying so that I'm not just taking what's there and trying to match the lines with what's on the image. I'm actually thinking about the forms of it, which is why I'm able to make some things bigger and some things smaller or whatever. And also I'm going to try and do that, try to imagine it in another angle. So right now I'm going to reinterpret it and try to, and we'll see how it goes. It doesn't always work out well. Try to imagine this from another angle, right? So right, so that's what I mean. And if I let's take another one. So right here. say I'm using this image right here. I will draw this, and now I've seen this muscle, and I just studied this muscle. I was just looking at this, so I also know that there's the muscle that goes around here. Alright, so I'm going to emphasize that a bit more. I know that's not, this line is not in the reference, but I'm going to draw it in my own way, you know, because I want to express it a bit differently. I'm going to draw that there and do that. So these lines don't exist, again, these lines don't exist, oh sorry, I should move it there so you can actually see what I'm doing. These lines don't actually exist in the reference I'm drawing, right? Obviously not, but I'm kind of making them up based on what I know, from what I've learned, from what I do know about anatomy, if you know what makes sense. So that would be an example of that. And then if I do the leg behind, similar thing, right? So again, not really necessarily copying, because it's obviously looks quite different to what you're seeing there, and it's because it's not meant to be. And I'm thinking about muscles that I've studied already. Obviously I have to know anatomy to an okay level to do this, and it's obviously because I've done anatomy prior to this stream many times, obviously, so this is not the first time I'm doing this. So don't necessarily expect. So it's like applying the anatomy and form from the diagram onto the reference. Yeah, but you're not just, well, it's not that, because if I was doing that, then I would like just like, it would be like tracing, but I'm not doing that either. I'm drawing the leg that you see, but in my own way, emphasizing things that I want to emphasize. I'm basically making choices. I'm forcing myself to make choices and not just be passive. All right, that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, and I'm using the knowledge that I gain from this to help me make certain choices about what I want to emphasize and what I don't want to emphasize. So, for example, right here, I'm choosing to emphasize. I know that these three muscles that make up the quad, you know, they're shown here. Well, I can play with them how I want, right? I can make these look however I want. So that's what I've done here. I've made this slightly bigger. I made this slightly bigger, and I made this one bigger than the reference because I felt like doing that, right? And that's the point. It's about making your own choices. Once you start making choices, now you're actually training your brain to not just be a copier, but be an active like participant in your drawing, if you know what I mean. And then when you go to draw from memory, it'll be a bit easier because you've already been drawing the anatomy that anatomy. To make these changes, you have to understand the anatomy, right? And so when you go to draw from memory, because you've been doing this already, you're going to have a better understanding of anatomy, so it'll be easier for you to draw it from memory, basically. That's what I'm saying. At least that works for me. I don't know how everyone else studies anatomy, but that's how I do it. And it seems to work for me, so. Let's see, so here's another example. So we'll do this leg, right? So let me move this here, and then to Can these AI modified images be trusted? Oh, I just noticed that actually. Personally, I don't actually like. I don't really like drawing from AI. If I find myself doing it, sometimes it's because I'm in a trance and I'm just drawing whatever. So, like now, for example. But personally, I don't really like. I don't really like AI. I think they can generally be trusted, though. I know that people say they can't be, but I think for the most part, AI has pretty much learned anatomy quite well now. So, um, unfortunately, unfortunately, they can be. That's not. It's not a nice thing to admit, but you know they are. They can't. They couldn't do hands like a year ago, but now they can. So they can do pretty well. But I generally don't like drawing from AI just because I don't really like. I don't really like the whole stealing artwork and stuff like that. And but I mean, if I find myself drawing from it, there's times when I've like now, just in the right now, I just drew from an AI image, right? And I've drawn from AI images before, AI like not artworks, but like reference images for like anatomy and stuff. And like I'm like I look at it and at the end I'm like, oh, that was AI, and I'm like, well, what can I do now? I've done it now, so it's just the way it is, you know. Unfortunately. Cool. So now I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and do some from memory. Um, just try to mess around with drawing like anatomy off the top of my head, and we'll see how that goes. Might go well, might go badly. We'll see. Uh, that's actually really cool. I'm guessing. Oh, hello, Dream Void. Um, please do more lives. Yes, I plan on doing that. Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's actually really cool. I'm guessing when it's time to draw from memory, you check the diagrams to correct any errors and repeat. Exactly, that's exactly correct. So I check um, references, then I'm like, oh, what did I do wrong? And then I go back, figure out what I did wrong. Then I try to draw the same thing again from memory. Or sometimes I don't actually draw the same thing from memory. Sometimes I just move on. I just move on, and then the next time I try, like the next day, I'm like hoping that the thing I failed at yesterday is a bit better. So I don't always correct it immediately. Yeah, some people do that. I don't always do that, but yeah, I'm studying anatomy right now. Good, you should be. What do I do? Expand my visual library nowadays is look at 3D models. It's really helped. Yeah, you should do that. Well, what you want to do to expand your visual library is to do look at 3D models and break them down. Basically, that's the main thing. Um, break down the things that you want to learn. Um, that's what you should be doing. Yeah. Yeah. So now I'm drawing from memory, and hopefully I've picked up some things. You know, again, I already knew. I already know like anatomy to an okay amount. So it's like it's just that this is important for me to keep sharpening my memory and stuff. So that's why I'm doing all this. Um, so let's see, I'm glad that they're at least tagged. Yeah, I'm glad they're tagged. The thing, yeah. I don't know it's a tag though. Literally, I just look at the image like right there. I didn't even know it's a tag. I just drew from it, and then I realized after. So, I mean, they tag it, but like, I don't. I most people don't even notice. I don't notice because I'm too focused on looking at the image. But yeah. Um, now I'm worried my references are from AI. Yeah, a lot of your references. Unfortunately, a lot of your references are going to be from AI. Like, I hate to break. Like, that's just the way it is these days. Um, and there's a lot of things that look like AI that look like they're real, but they're not AI. They're just AI. And a lot of them they start from ordinary images. So like a lot of these AI. So this is AI modified. Now, this is AI modified, but I do know that this is from a real. Even if this is not the pose that they took a picture of, I'm pretty sure I've seen this reference pack before, right? So the AI, whatever the AI is doing, is like making adjustments to a set of images that already exist, right? So that's why it's even harder to detect because I'm almost certain, like many of you probably have seen this before, and I'm, I've seen the reference pack somewhere. Like before AI even existed, I've seen this. Like before 2022 when people were using AI like crazy, it was 2023 maybe. I had seen this. I've seen this before. So these exist already. It's just I think AI is now. It's like it's generating extra images based on the reference packs that exist, which is really bad. By the way, I don't like that. I think that's kind of scummy. But you know, hey, what can I? What would I say? Oh, by the way, I think I was just trying to show you the image, but I just realized you would never see it. Let me show you the image so that you know what I'm talking about. Add source again. Window capture. Yeah, this one. Like I'm almost certain, like a lot of you guys have seen this image. Like this image is, like it's like an old reference pack. Like I've seen this tons of times. But the AI is somehow doing some stupid stuff, magic to make extra images from the pack, if you know what I mean. But yeah, anyway, let me remove that and continue what I'm doing. So I want to draw another leg. Yeah, yeah. I'm almost certain you've seen it. Most people have seen that, I think. Um, at least if you're someone that uses like references a lot, you're likely to have seen that image. Do you think Rocky Kim's line drawing book is worth it? I just got his anatomy one recently, and I don't know what the difference is. I don't know. Like, if I mean, do I think it's worth it? Well, for me it was. I mean, it might not be worth it for you, innit? Like, but I mean, I benefited from it because I was able to see how he rendered certain things. Like for me, I'm at a stage where I really care about how people put down their lines because I need to know. I want to understand how they actually take the thing that they know, which is anatomy. So they might know anatomy. Okay, cool. But how do they go and actually take that into an actual drawing? Because like this is not a drawing. This is like these are diagrams. How do you actually go and apply lines correctly, right? And like that is a whole art in itself. How to, which line to add, which one to not add. And when I look at his drawings, it gives me an idea of what to draw and what not to draw, you know, and how to actually render some of these things. Because my primary interest is linear drawing, right? So we can get into shading and inking and stuff another time, but my main interest at the moment is linear drawing. So I care about how people just use lines to depict form. Like right here, for example, this is important. This is interesting to me. Like that right there is important to me. How he actually did that. But if that's not something that's important to you, then it's not really. You might not be at that stage where you're interested in that yet, and that's fine. That's not really. I can't tell you whether that is important to you. You know, but I don't know. Hey, Rock and Draw. Hey, good to see you here. Wish you were drawing. What are you doing instead? You should be drawing, buddy. What are you thinking right now? This is crazy. It's unacceptable if you ask me. What are you doing? Brooke, Brooke draw. Brooke not drawing right now, hanging out with a friend, but secretly drawing vicariously through you. Nice, nice, very good. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Okay, that's all that matters. Yeah, keep hanging out. Us artists, we have to touch grass as well. We can't just be drawing all day. That's crazy. You know. Cool. So these are just me. These are my attempts at drawing legs from some of the legs from memory. I'll do some more actually because I don't think I'm done here. I'm not done here. I don't think. I don't know if that line's supposed to be there, but. Yeah, no. I can't draw the box. Can you give me a give you a what? So I'm gonna go back to drawing some more images because there's some things that I think I could have drawn better. This one, the bent leg, I think was a bit better. Could have been a bit better. And this one just now, I just tried to do this and I thought that something was wrong about this. Then also, this could have been better, I think. So we'll try and draw some more from images and see what I can get from that. And then I'm going to try a bit like more difficult leg drawings because at the moment these are like fairly simple, right? It's just like straight on from behind, again from behind, straight, and then bent thing or whatever. I want to draw more kind of like foreshortening, to try and experiment with what I try to find what I don't know so I can improve those things. Um, oh, box exercise for boxes. Do you ever try to do full finished pieces from imagination or mainly studies? Yeah, I do. So I do. I'm again. I've mentioned this to people before, but I'm very interested in the science of like drawing itself, like actually trying to figure out, understanding, like trying to learn objects and stuff like that. That just is really interesting to me. That being said, I would say I want to. First of all, I think I should do more finished pieces. That's the first thing to say. But also, I come from a background of someone that was very interested in character design. So a lot of my finished stuff is just character design because I really was growing up. That was like I loved character design, and I still love character design. So that's always been my main. That's kind of like what I like to do. So it's like standalone characters. I come up with a character in my head, and I'm like, ooh, I want to draw this. Like robot people. I'll just draw those kind of people. So on my Instagram, you'll see like things that I've drawn because I've. That's actually what I want to draw, but in terms of finished pieces in pen, in just like in this style, I don't do too many because they are extremely fatiguing, and then also um, I so one they're extremely fatiguing, and two, to draw a finished piece in this kind of medium is like very quite difficult for me. So I tend to, if I'm gonna do a finished piece, because I'm a perfectionist and it's just the way I think basically. I would rather just do it in digital. Like so, a lot of my finished stuff is in digital, but when it comes to like um, interpreting the world around me and stuff like that, I love to do that in pen. And my yeah, I like to do that in pen. And I think ultimately, I want to work more on doing finished pieces in traditional mediums like this because I think that is like the next step for me. I think because that would be really fun. First of all, it'd be really challenging, but I'm not in a place where I'm like super interested in doing that right now. I'm not like I'm not someone that really sits down and thinks, oh, I want to do a whole fledged piece of lots of things happening on the screen. I just don't really find myself being that interested in doing that, but I think I probably will try it soon and see how that goes. Well, we'll see. Um, that was a long way of saying no. I don't do so many of those in this medium. But if I do a finished piece, it will usually be a character design or something in digital. Yeah, because that's what I like to do. Yeah. So we'll do some more studies from images and try to pick up on more things that I wasn't able to do that time. So do I draw digitally often? Not these days. No, nowhere near as much as I used to. Just because of life and busy and stuff. Like just way more busy. Um, yeah, I'm just way more busy in my personal life. I can't like sit down and do all these elaborate like character designs that I used to really love doing a few years ago. I don't know. I just don't have as much time. But I can sit down every now and again and do stuff like this, which I find really fun. For me, I just have to. If I find it fun, I'm gonna do it. If I'm not finding it fun, I'm not gonna do it. Oh, it's interesting. This pen is a Monami Plus Pen 3000. 3000. Have you tried the Pentel Artist brush pen? I've tried out so many brush pens, I've lost count. So I probably have tried it. I just don't. If I like, if I just don't remember it. But yeah, I probably have. Annoying me, I probably have tried it. Because I have a ton of brush pens just lying around everywhere. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what the name of them anymore. But I do use them from time to time. I'm not always satisfied with how it comes out, but I do use them. So at the moment I'm looking for a reference that's going to really help me with, here's a good one. So, because I'm thinking about the bending of the leg, but from looking at it directly from the front. And so I'm trying to find a reference that helps me think about understanding how that looks. And how do you, oh, sorry, I was going to say I was going to answer the question about boxes, and then also the question on proportions. How do you get better proportions? How do you get better proportions is, how to get better at proportions. Well, first of all, notice when your proportions are off. That's the first thing. So noticing when your proportions are off, and then figuring out why is a case of measuring. And if you can figure out why, and then you can correct it. So getting better is just about troubleshooting your drawing, I think. Yeah, there's not that much. There's not that much to it than that, to be honest. Also, how do you draw boxes? Well, drawing boxes is about just knowing. Okay, this is how you draw boxes. Okay, you draw boxes by thinking about faces. Do not, I repeat, do not try and draw. Don't think. You know what? Actually, no, I won't say that. I'm not going to say what I just thought I was going to say. Just think about faces for now. Okay. What is a box? A box is a square or a rectangle or whatever stacked on top of each other, right? Lots of them stacked on top of each other, right? Eventually you make a box, rectangle, or whatever, okay? If you want to get good at drawing a box, you need to be good at drawing rectangles or squares in perspective. So, this doesn't require you to think about that much, right? It just requires you to think about vanishing points of two parallel lines, okay? Vanishing points, vanishing points. Where are these headed? Where are these headed? Alright? So that's all you have to think about. You don't have to think about much. It's just the vanishing points of these two lines and these two lines. right? So then, forget about boxes for now. Just how do you draw a square in any view? All right, that's what you want to focus on. All right, so here we go, square or cube, or or rectangle or whatever. These are all rectangles and squares from different views, right? Okay, so hopefully that's the first thing you need to find out, how to just get to a point where you can just make sure that this is always, and all I'm doing really is I'm just making sure that these lines that I'm drawing are converging to somewhere, to a shared place. Alright? Cool. Once you've done that, all you need to think about is extruding, okay? You're extruding this towards some vanishing point. What did I tell you? I said earlier that a box is just squares stacked on top of each other, right? Or rectangles or whatever. So that's what we're doing. We're just extruding. Extrude, extrude, boom, 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 boom. So I don't know, all the stuff about Y method and all that stuff. It's just trying to get you to do this basically. Okay, that's it. All right. You just need to think about faces. All right. And once you think like that, you can draw so many things in perspective, right? So let's think. Let's say I want to say I have this shape right here, right? Okay, that was a bit silly. Let's say I take this shape. Right? All right. Well, it turns out if you know how to think about things in different angles, like shapes from different angles, you can do that to anything. So the same way I've taken this and I've done a transformation to get it to look like this, or this, or this. This face can be, the same thing can be done here. So for example, I can do this. And what is that? That is just that, right? So just taking this and I've flattened it. You can do it from another angle, right? So say I do this is just that again from a different angle. Right? So that's what I'm doing. I'm just doing exactly what I'm doing here is what I'm doing here. It's just flattening something, thinking about it from another angle, and then extruding it. That's how you do that. Right? So maybe I'll explain that a bit more in detail in another video, because I think that people complicate boxes too much. I think it's just a matter of knowing how to turn a flat shape first. Like, ask yourself, right? Can you draw a flat shape? Right? Just a flat shape in any angle. If you can't do that, then that's like the first thing you need to deal with. Not drawing boxes. Then drawing boxes is like, that's your least of your worries now. You need to actually figure out how to draw something like a square from another angle, right? Hope that helped in some way. And I just realized like the way, at least the way I study anatomy, doesn't make for a fun stream. That's interesting to me. 'Cause, I don't know, it's quite I don't know. What are your guys' study sessions like? My study sessions don't actually look that all that interesting, you know, because I'm just figuring things out. Like half the time I'm looking at an image, I'm just looking at it, staring at it, trying to understand what I'm looking at, you know, and that can't be really shown on a stream, you know. But hey, that's the way it is. Let's try that one again. Esteban, thank you for explaining how to draw the boxes. It feels that something clicked in my mind with the explanation. Oh, appreciate that. Appreciate that. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully that helps. I think people, there are preconditions to drawing boxes that are not, like, a lot of people act like drawing the boxes like the first thing that you need to get over, the first hurdle. It's not actually not the first hurdle. The first hurdle is you being able to twist simple stuff first, a flat shape, like a flat shape, and then you can go from that to boxes. And by learning that to twist flat shapes in perspective, you'll actually find that by the time you have to draw a box, not only boxes will be easy, but other things will be easier as well. Yes, I get some of my, yeah. So for my references, I get it's a mixture of reference packs and Pinterest. So yeah, I use some reference packs and I use some because I like buy these random reference packs, and they're quite helpful. But also like just random images on Pinterest. Yeah, um, that's what I do. Yeah, I'm being reminded right now that the main things you need to do when you're drawing the leg is you need to get those three, that one, and that. Like if you get these three into the drawing and like you show the form of them well, like you can get a leg that looks pretty okay. And then obviously the calf muscle as well. Um, those three things are really important. Um, okay, cool. So we'll try some more from memory, from imagination. But I'll try to do two of the legs together because I'm always doing one leg. I'll try to do two of them together now. Here it goes. So. like that. So this right here is a issue because I need to remember what it looks like, specifically when you have the butt in like a from like a 3/4 angle, foreshortened with the hamstring. Yeah, basically hamstring being shown in this angle from behind, and then a very foreshortened set of quads. So I need to find a reference that's going to help me with that. This is good. This is really important because I wasn't able to draw that because I haven't thought about that enough, right? So what I'm going to try and do is find a reference for that and try to understand what I'm looking at, all right? So if only I could find one, right? Let's see, or one that's close to it at least. Maybe I can't find an exact one, but so from that angle we have. Okay, so that's the issue. Okay. You know, it's surprisingly hard to find reference for that specific pose, which is interesting, because that explains why I haven't seen it. um, I guess I kind of found one that's kind of close. Like there's, um, this one that I found is like. space for this one. I need space. Okay. Hey Zeph, do you think there are any drawbacks to drawing in a direct, slower approach? Like if your goal is to be a manga artist who has to draw very quick, very sketchy, and clean up later. Um, if are there any drawbacks to it? Probably. Um, do I mean if you can draw directly and you can draw fast, then it's not an issue, is it? But if you can't, uh, then it is an issue. I don't know. Like I feel like it just depends on how you draw directly. Like if you draw directly fast, then it shouldn't be a problem. But I don't see why it should be an issue. Like, but I would say that in general, if you're drawing comics and stuff, and being a manga artist, you should probably not be drawing directly, just because like how like even Kim Jong Gi, he prepared his like he had sketches before he did his panels, like because he wanted to plan out and block out the frame and stuff like that. So like I wouldn't, I don't know. I feel like direct drawing is more for creating pieces that are like more like art pieces rather than stuff like manga, because with art piece you can kind of go with the flow and just vibe it out and feel the page as you go along and do what comes to mind as ideas come. But when you're drawing like a manga or something, you have to kind of stick to a script, right? So you need to really plan out how things are gonna come, if you know what I mean. You can't really go by vibes alone, you know. So I don't know. I wouldn't recommend doing the whole direct. You don't have to do the direct thing for manga. I don't know if I would recommend it. If I was to do a manga, I would not draw it directly. I would plan everything. So that's how I would do it. But yeah. Anyway, um, that was started streaming 2 hours ago. Okay, so I have to attend to my father duties. So I will be seeing you guys later. Duty calls. Nah. I wanted to draw for longer, but things are coming up as I'm drawing. Things are happening around me that I have to attend to. So I will see you guys later, and all the best. I hope you learned something about how to study anatomy, because I tried to show a little bit how I do things there. So Seth, I'll do simple forms, please. Sure. At some point I'll do simple forms. If if you expand on what you mean by that, I can go and do something like that at some point. But yeah, I'll see you guys later, and all the best.